These days, you're not so quite sure that it's a person you're watching or listening to. Things have changed. We are in the world of AI. Now, this is Book Talk, and I'm your host, Anthony Moirore. Yes, this is me. It's not a representation of me. And we have a guest with us who is going to talk to us about a book that she's written. Her name is Kara Cusack, and she's going to be here shortly. She's written a book known as AI Survival Guide Artificial Intelligence Basics. So stay tuned and let's go and hear what she has in store for us. But before we go, I would like to remind you to please share this episode with all your friends. If you have a question, please ask. If you have a comment of any kind, we appreciate feedback and we will mention it. If you get to see this after we've recorded it, we value your time also, and thank you. Thank you very much. And now, without taking one more minute, I'm going to ask you to come join me as we go to meet Kera. Here we go. Hi, Kera.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me this morning.
Yes, thank you for coming to Book Talk. We appreciate you. And we look forward to hearing more about your book. But before we go there, I would like to know where are you right now?
I am in Washington State. I'm about 2 hours south of Seattle.
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful. That's in the US.
Yes.
Beautiful. And what is it that you do right now for someone who is seeing you for the very first time?
Well, I am a 25-year tech veteran. I currently work as an AI consultant. I help businesses learn how to utilize AI and figure out, how they can improve their business processes with it, how they can protect their data with it, things like that, whatever their use case is.
That's very cute. Before that, what are you before the 25? Because I think you have quite a lot of experience, if it matters in this case.
Yes, I've done all kinds of things in technology. I helped Airstream build their smart recreational vehicle. I've worked for the airlines. I've done smart building tech, IoT devices, you name it. I worked for Meta for a while on the metaverse on their creator program. I have helped create virtual reality video games for the Department of Defense. So all kinds of fun stuff.
Oh, that's quite an experience, and we are glad to have you here because we know that you are going to uh, give us insights that we may not have imagined.
I hope so.
Yes,
That was my point.
yeah. And now, being on Book Talk, we would like also to know when is it that you started writing? Is this your first book, or have you written some other books?
No, this is my 10th book. I
Book.
started out, yes, I started out with children's books.
Mhm.
Children's books that kind of teach about diversity most of the time. Some of them are just fun, but uh, just kind of got my feet wet there, and then I wrote a book for children, autistic children that are nonverbal.
Mhm.
It's just kind of a little poem to help them, feel better about themselves. It's about three little kids that communicate in nonverbal ways, through dance and art and music.
Mhm.
And then from there, I wrote a book on autism. It's called Embracing the Spectrum. and it's just a kind of a different way to look at autism and how we respond to it, not as a disorder, but as a difference that we can embrace in our communities and in the workplace.
Okay.
And then I wrote Ban This Book Now, which obviously was about the book bans that have been going on that are just hideous. And some of my angry came out. It starts out a little bit sarcastic, but, kind of goes into, what the politics and the power is behind the book bans, what the real reasoning is.
Mm.
Uh, and then, everybody's constantly asking me about AI and artificial intelligence, and, people are worried about their jobs. They're worried about their futures. They're worried that robots are going to come and take over mankind. All kinds of worries and concerns, and some excitement too. So I decided to write a book that, kind of ran down the basics that anybody could read,
Mm-hmm.
um, so that everybody could really understand what's going on. Is, most people, you ask them about AI, and what they think about is, what happened in November of 2022. That is when AI was released. But the reality is AI has been around a long time. We've been working on it a long time. What
Yeah.
happened in November 2022 is ChatGPT was unleashed to the general public, and
Mm.
that's the cat that we can't put back in the bag.
Yeah.
It's out there. The
We
code is there.
can go back. We can go back. We can only try our level best to understand where we are and then look forward to where is it that we are going. And we are glad that you're here because you've got the experience and you've got the insights into the future. Now, this is the book that we are talking about for those who are joining us right now. AI Survival Guide Artificial Intelligence Basics by Kara Cusack. That's a beautiful cover.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a good one. Now, I'll ask an obvious question,
Mhm.
which you kind of touched on how it came to be. What inspired what really got you triggered, and you said, "Okay, I'm gonna do it now. I've been asked about it now, but now I'm gonna do it."
Well, I have been writing articles on like LinkedIn and Substack and various places, because people
Mm,
are always asking me for information, and I just had this stack of articles of all these things I was writing. I was like, why don't I just write a book and put it all in one place? Because there are a lot of concerns and on people's minds right now.
mhm,
And so, I decided to put it all to paper, or to digital paper.
mm,
And it's been great. First week, I mean, 2,000 books went out the door by day 3. So I was really excited. It hit, it's right now, it's the hottest selling release in AI expert systems on Amazon. So it's doing really well. Really happy about that.
yeah, AI is a hot topic in the reason for this for now we've done half of 2023 and it has been a hot topic until now. I don't know. I don't know when it's going to cool, but then this is the right time to know much more about it.
The funny thing is, if you go and look at books on artificial intelligence, especially on Amazon, it's flooded with ones that are obviously written by AI. Like, they didn't even try.
That's
They
it.
had the
Yeah.
chat GPT, and they flooded it with information and stuck it out there in a book and hoped somebody would find it. So that was another reason I decided to write it. Like,
Oh,
this is not
so
the day.
you want to tell us that everything that you've written in it, you've done it yourself. You've not used just Chat GPT.
I will not say I have not used Chat GPT. I do use Chat GPT to, like, find, synonyms to words. Like, if I'm looking for a word, or there's a sentence I want to reword, or, some research that I want to do.
Hmm.
And I'll have it give me, like, all the points. And then, of course, with Chat GPT, it is not accurate. You have to go and verify the information that it tells you. It is not as accurate as it probably will be in a few years. But ChatGPT is an excellent tool for writers.
Hmm.
It's an excellent tool for anyone. Actually, it is very good at, and if you train it properly, it learns how to speak to you and how you like information.
Mm.
Um, and it can be a useful tool, but to just say, "Hey, AI, write me a book," is going to be obviously written by AI. You've got to put some effort into it.
Yeah, and coming to think of it now, we've got, like, just like anything else there before that has been in existence, we all have their positive side and their negative side. And this one, we're gonna delve into some of them, as you're going to dive us into understanding some of, or maybe bringing to light what has been the concerns, and what should we expect. Go ahead.
Sure. Well, first of all, AI is not this all-encompassing, self-realizing being. It's
Mm,
just math. It's just math. You're
mhm,
literally just training a model on, mathematical equations, and that's one of the things that I break down in my book, is how exactly some of the math works in a very basic format.
mm,
Um, but we interact with AI all day long. We have for years. When you talk to Alexa, or you talk to Siri, or you your Google Smart device.
mhm,
When you go to Netflix, and it has recommendations for things that you would like to watch based off of what you've watched before. Our autonomous vehicles, our smart vehicle technology. I mean, we've been using AI for a long time.
mm,
Um, this is just what added that extra level that gives people a lot of fear. And it is going to change the scope of things. I mean, everything is different from now on. It will be different. The jobscape will be different. Healthcare will be different. Education will be different. It touches virtually every sector, and that will continue to grow in every sector.
mhm,
Probably the biggest concerns that everybody has is, of course, it's going to replace my job. And in some cases, that is true. Um, Most manufacturing automated tasks, things like that, are going to be gone. If you're a data entry person, you need to reskill.
mhm,
It's just, when you can just feed data into an AI
mm,
by the push of a button. um, you no longer need to pay someone by the hour to sit there and manually input data.
mhm,
uh, and the AI is going to take it and do it perfect and do it instantly.
mm,
So there are a lot of places where it is going to take over those jobs, and we are going to have to step up, as a world, and start reskilling and upskilling people.
yeah.
If anybody is not training an AI in their job, no matter what it is, if they're not learning how AI can help their business, they're going to fall behind.
Mm. Yeah,
Um,
yeah, it's reached to that point, and you're talking of being scared. We've seen the videos of supermarkets where there's nobody manning it. You just walk into the supermarket, you take whatever it is that you want to, and you don't even clock it.
right.
You don't put a barcode or anything. You just walk. How this is
Yeah.
going? Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah, I mean, and there's a lot that it's going to change. I mean, in agriculture, just to give
Mhm,
you a real good example,
mhm,
um, they have these autonomous machines that'll run through a crop field
mm,
and use a laser that goes down to the tiniest digit,
mm,
and can remove weeds instantly. No chemicals, no anything, no manual labor involved, and it runs 24 hours around the clock. It drives by itself. It doesn't take breaks. And it's pinpoint accuracy.
mm,
So there, things like that are going to absolutely change the field of agriculture.
mhm,
We're going to see farmers have the ability to better analyze their soil for crops. They're going to be able to grow more, and this is a good thing. Yes,
mhm,
it's going to hurt some of those manual farm laborers. We're going to have to retrain them on other things, but it's going to increase the ability of the world to create more food and
mm,
more nutritious food.
mhm.
Um, so the long term effects of it are really huge.
And then we go to the health industry. I mean,
And that's mind blowing. Uh,
yeah.
the things that they're doing are really crazy. I mean, they've already came up with a new antibiotic that um, that is effective against things that have typically been um, have not reacted very well to typical antibiotics.
Mm.
Um, and they can notice cancers on scans and things like that way before a human doctor can,
Mhm.
because it can recognize patterns that they can't. So the field of medicine is going to completely change the way we do everything eventually. It'll probably be the slowest industry to change,
Mhm.
because regardless, there's still, all these checks and balances that have to go through. Everything has to be tested and retested, and it's just, there's a lot of research involved. The AI may say, yes, do this, but we have to make sure the AI is correct. And
Mm.
that's what comes with the AI training. Everything is about how you train it, what data it's trained on. You have to make sure the data is not biased. Biased data is a real big concern.
Mhm.
Just to give you an example, like in predictive policing, um, if you have feed all this data into an AI
Mm.
about this city, and where the typical crimes have happened, and then you increase police presence in there. If your data is skewed, if you have a neighborhood that was um, over policed because it was a minority district, of
Mhm.
course, there's going to have been more crime reported there.
Mm.
Not necessarily that there was more crime, but there was more crime reported.
Mhm.
So if you feed all of that data into the AI is going to say, oh, all the crime's going to happen here. All the cops need to go over there. And then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy,
Mhm.
because where the cops are, they're seeing more crimes. It's not that there aren't crimes happening in the other areas, is that the bias of the data is creating this constant churn, and it usually affects the minority population more than anywhere else.
Mm.
Um, so bias in data is a huge, huge, huge issue, and it's something that has to have a majority of our focus. I mean, you look at in the finance industry too. It's you've got the same problem with bias data.
Mm.
Um, so it's something that people are going to have to test and test and test and really take a good look at the ethics of how they're training their models,
Mm.
and verify them and make sure that they are correct and unbiased.
Okay,
Okay.
we look forward to all those things happening. And now you train AI, and then it start doing things on its own, like we've seen with the apps that you've mentioned, or the other things that are happening all around us. And then comes the other fear, the fear of control. And since now AI is intelligent on its own from the training it's got, it's
Mhm.
acting on its own. The control. Tell us.
Yes, the control problem of super intelligence. That's a big one.
Mm.
Um, and the scary thing is, that could happen. I mean, there's nothing to stop a nefarious person from using this code in nefarious means, and we've already seen them doing that. We've
Mhm.
already seen them using AI to create scams, to make a duplicate of a child's voice to call their parents and say, "Hey, I'm in
Mhm.
trouble. Send me money."
Mhm.
Um, there's absolutely nothing in place to stop that. Um, so that's where it becomes really, really important, for people in the tech industry to focus on different methods to bring that in. I mean, it's going to be just like a weapon. We have to get regulations out there in the governments. We have to make sure everybody is going by ethical practices, and it can't be just a local thing or a U.S. thing or a state thing. It has to be global.
Mhm.
Everyone has got to work together and work on a standard of ethics and methods to rein this in. And when somebody uses it illegally, it needs to be a crime.
Mhm. Yeah. So, crime. Talk about also the government and things they do that I don't like really much. But then
Like
I
autonomous weapons.
weapons. I don't like war. But then I can't. I can't avoid thinking of what's going to happen now when they are in control of the AI, and now some some army is going to war against machines without them knowing. How is that? How is it something must be happening already. Tell us what could be happening that we are not aware of.
Well, I don't have a lot of insight into what governments are using AI yet in warfare, but I think we will see a lot of that in the future.
Mm-hmm.
But there are going to be a lot of ethical considerations that are going to have to take into effect. And I think our organizations like, NATO, and the United Nations will get involved in some serious frameworks there,
Yeah.
and how that is allowed to be used in warfare, because the thought of an AI making an autonomous decision on someone's life without that human empathy and understanding is a scary thing.
Mm,
So there's a lot of training and research and regulation frameworks that are going to have to come into place before we really see that. But on the other hand, it has the potential to save a lot of lives.
mm-hmm.
But one of the fears is if we take away that human loss factor
Mm,
in warfare with AI, does that lower the bar for us going to war?
mm,
And that's something to really think about when when you lower the human cost. um how much faster is somebody going to be to push that button? They
mm,
really pissed
mm-hmm.
me off.
Wow, there's so much we can expect from this point onward. Too much is going to be too much. I don't know how everybody's going to handle this. And then I'm curious to know this. I don't know about your faith, but
Mhm.
then with this, with dealing with the AI and all that is happening, I know you've come across the faith question or the religion question that some people are saying, which direction are we going into? Ha- have you encountered that?
As far as religion goes,
Mm,
um I haven't really put much thought into AI and religion,
mm,
but that is a really interesting take on it. There is one of the things with human interaction and AI, we would have the potential to do what's called replication, and
mm,
that's what people are doing right now with voices and videos and things like that.
mm,
But if you take that a step further and you can put your entire consciousness into an AI. Let's
mm,
say you can take every bit of your data, all of your mannerisms, the way you speak, your memories, your voice, your history, your everything,
mm,
and you can feed that into an AI, and then you die.
mm,
Someone could come in and just put all that data into an AI, a hologram, or a robot. We're getting really good at making those real.
mm,
You get into a lot of ethical and moral concerns there, right? Like if you're able to do that, does it help you with the grieving process,
mm,
or does that stop you from going through the grieving process? What kind of attachments do you build to this replication of you that's not you?
mm,
And some people feel like that's like taking somebody's soul and playing God.
yeah.
And so there's a lot of things to consider there, but we're almost there
Mm,
where we could do that potentially. And is that helpful or harmful? It's like with AI in mental health care. It's kind of the same issue. if
mm,
if you're if you're getting your mental health care from an AI, is that is that healthy? And to some degree, it's showing that it really is, to have somebody right there immediately. But in the long term, what attachments that they're building there, and maybe false dependencies that they're building there, does that keep them from going and seeking real help when they need it?
mm,
Uh, and one of the other benefits to AI, especially with seniors, is that it can help them with a lot of the degree of loneliness when they have, somebody to interact and talk to. But then again, the same issue. If that's what they're doing and they become dependent on, does that stop them from going out and seeking out real attention elsewhere if they're getting that from the AI? So we have a lot of things to work through. We have a lot of things to work through.
Is a lot, is a lot, is a lot. And I'm happy that most of what you've spoken about, people are going to find it in that book. Now, for everybody who's watching or listening, this book is huge. N- It's got over 200 pages that you're going to find that information that Kara has presented us. And some of them she's not even mentioned. So that's why you should go and get the book and read for yourself. Now, about the topic, some of which you've mentioned, which could have been your favorite one, then maybe you can let us feel the book by going into it.
Let's see. My favorite one. I think AI and the environment,
Mm-hmm.
uh, because AI has the potential to turn our planet around with climate change.
Mm-hmm.
The potential implications with AI and climate change are huge,
Mm.
because it can do better data analyzation and predicting than we can. And I think we're going to see a lot of help there. I'm hoping in our our my utopia world. At the end of the book, I create a fictional utopia and a fictional dystopia,
Mm-hmm.
um, of what could happen, if we treat AI properly and we build the proper frameworks and we build this society based on AI, what that potential looks like. And then I also did the same thing with a dystopian potential and what it could look like, if we let it get out of control.
Right.
And one is really happy, one is really scary, right out of Star Trek kind of thing. But
Mm.
and but I don't know. I have a lot of favorites. um, Space exploration has a big potential. Um, quantum physics is difficult. It's difficult even for me to explain. But I do have a whole section here on quantum physics, and basically what AI can do for quantum computers and our ability to go far beyond what technologies we have now is really huge. And quantum physics, in just really really simple terms, is like a magical rule book for the tiniest particles that exist.
Mm-hmm.
So the rules in their universe are not the same as they are here. And
Mm.
that's where the Schrodinger's cat theory, if you've ever heard about that, comes in. Or you
Mm-hmm.
put a cat in a box with poison, and if that's a short version of the story, but basically the cat is alive or dead in the box depending on whether or not the poison is released.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't know the cat is alive or dead until you look in the box.
Mm.
So it exists in both states until you observe it. Now,
Yeah.
in our real world, we know that the cat is either alive or dead.
Mm-hmm.
There's no one way or another. But quantum particles have completely different rule books than our world does. They
Mm-hmm.
respond in a different way. Um, so it's kind of an interesting chapter, and I had to learn a lot because I am not a quantum physicist, and that is just a really really hard topic to really get your head around. I got a lot of help from my husband, who's obsessed with it. um,
Okay.
he dreams math, so um,
Okay, that's wonderful. So, can we get an excerpt from the utopian world,
oh sure,
if possible? Let's dream with you.
yeah.
Let's imagine with you in it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine that it is the year 2054. Earth is no longer the divided, pollution choked, resource depleted planet we used to know. Instead, it's the epitome of a prosperous, harmonious society where AI and humans coexist in a fascinating symphony of symbiosis. Countries are no longer at war, and each government works in tandem with others to share resources and maintain an equitable and fruitful life for all of its people. The air is clean, The water and food are plentiful. We have successfully eradicated homelessness, a plight that was once a harsh reality for many. AI is the core of this transformation, is the innovation integration of AI with urban planning, social welfare systems, and a reimagined economy. AI models have been developed to accurately predict housing needs based on numerous factors such as population growth, migration patterns, economic conditions, and climate change. These predictions guide the construction of new homes, ensuring there's always enough housing for everyone. These AI guided construction projects utilize self assembling nanobots to construct buildings rapidly and sustainably. They can quickly adapt to changing needs and environmental conditions, ensuring efficient use of resources and minimal environment impact. The result, affordable, resilient, and energy efficient homes for all. Advanced AI algorithms identify individuals and families at risk of homelessness based on economic, health, and social indicators. The system then proactively intervenes, providing personalized support for such as job matching skills, training, mental health resources, or financial assistance. AI's role in reimagining the economy has been equally pivotal. With the majority of manual, repetitive jobs automated, the world has embraced a universal basic income. The AI based system ensures every citizen receives an adequate income to cover basic needs, eliminating the risk of extreme poverty and homelessness. This is the part I like. In this AI driven job market, humans focus on roles that leverage creativity, empathy, critical thinking, and leadership, skills that AI can't replicate. AI forms AI platforms provide personalized education and retraining programs, ensuring that every individual can find fulfilling, well compensated work matched to their skills and desires. Additionally, a reputation based digital economy has been established where citizens earn credits for contributing to society. Whether through formal employment, volunteering, caregiving, or other forms of social contributions, these credits can be used to access additional services, creating an economy that values and rewards a broader range of human activity.
Hmm. Wow, wow. We can almost see that. So great, so great, so great. Thank you very much. It's such a wonderful imagination that I got into. And I believe even the one who's listening or watching us could imagine that time in the future, homelessness, and all the good things that AI has done.
Yep. And if AI works out in quantum physics, we could get those teleporters so you can just go to New York from wherever you are in an instant.
In an instant.
Star Trek reimagined.
Oh, that's Star Trek. Here we come. The future, here we come. Wow, wow. So it's quite much inside there. And that's why we remind the viewer or the listener to go and get the book and get to find out much more that is in there and imagine much more than you have imagined before. So we are coming to the end of this show, and we really thank you, Kara, for being with us.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yes. But before we go, we'd ask you to leave us with a few words that we should always remember. That's always here at Book Talk.
It is up to us, all of us, to make sure that AI works as a benefit to humanity and not as a deterrent. Um, Everyone has a responsibility now, every single person, to learn about AI, how it works, eliminate those doubts and fears that everybody has, and realize some new ones, and work together to make sure that we have an educated society that knows how to use AI and knows how to use it properly and ethically, and that we have all of the legal frameworks in place.
Wow. Thank you. So
Thank you.
everyone, yeah, everyone should know about AI. So go get the book. Go get the book. And now, since we are leaving, and maybe there's someone who's interested to find out more of what Kara does, or maybe connect with you, how would you advise them to go about that?
Well, you can go to my website. It's karacusackbooks.com. There's a contact form on there. You can also find me on LinkedIn. Just Google my name. You'll find me in there as well. So
So karacusackbooks.com. Yeah. So That's about it for today. We thank you very, very much, Kara, for coming here at Book Talk. And let's see what the future holds for us.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.
Yes, I did too. And I believe all our viewers or our listeners enjoyed this show. Go get the book. That's about it for today. This has
Go get
been,
the book.
yeah, go get the book. Go get the book. This has been Book Talk. I have been your host, Anthony Mwerore. And together with our guest, Kera Cusack, we're saying bye for now. Yeah. And learn AI. Don't forget that. Bye.